Coming up in this video, Sam came stomping out of the room a few doors down and took a gander at me with a face a ton creepier than the grin. He inquired as to whether I went into his room. My heart was hustling. As I said no, I might feel the shake in my voice. Babysitting is a common solution that parents find to keep their kids safe, but I'm not sure if this is true or not. So guys, this video is about babysitting horror story and true babysitting story. Growing up, my sibling and I generally had a sitter during the week and once in a while on the ends of the week, given that our parents both work all day. I was around 10 years old when my younger sibling and I required to have been keeping an eye on a Saturday night, since my father was working the evening shift and my mother was in Italy. I'll allude to my sibling as X, the man who'd be keeping an eye on, who was named Sam, by the way, knew my father from work. Also, when my father referenced he had nobody to watch us, Sam hopped into the discussion and elected to watch us. He didn't know. Sam seemed cool from saying hello sometimes to him at work, yet evidently he knew him enough to entrust him with us. It was 6 p.m. Currently dull out. Our father approached Sam's front entryway with us and rang the ring. At every turn Sam appeared very cordial, somewhat excessively agreeable. Also, my father talked for a little while later, acquainting us. Sam appeared to be truly pleasant because he continued to attempt to converse with X. When our father left, Sam showed us around the house. X and I sat on the sofa in the front room. I was eager to see a GameCube. Sam remained by the entryway with a major favor, his face and his hands on his hips as he watched me getting all energized and connected to the GameCube. While I played some Sonic games, Sam advised X to accompany him. He had some games and toys for him higher up. They were up there for some time and ultimately I got exhausted from the game. I left the GameCube on. However, I went higher up to see what they were doing. The higher up was quite enormous. There was a wide lobby with a lot of open entryways, yet there was one shut entryway. I figured they should be in there, so I made the way to find a dim room lit up exclusively by a PC screen. I strolled over to the PC to see two camera screens on there, one of the void room with a light on the other with a room with T, and Sam sitting on the floor playing with toys. I looked for a tad and became awkward as I saw Sam improperly contacting T, like scouring his shoulder, truly sluggish. Like then I saw Sam quit moving. What's more, simply check out at my sibling cheerfully. All over he glanced back at him. I'm sure he was so confounded. They just took a gander at one another for so long. I could see Sam's mouth moving, so he has probably been saying something. I clicked around on the screen to check whether I could zoom in or get a sound of some sort. Furthermore, the scroller on the mouse did, in reality, zoom the screen in. However, as I did this, Sam's grin evaporated. He gazed toward the camera with alarmingly wide eyes. I felt like he was taking a gander at me. I hastily left the room and shut the entryway, nonchalantly strolling a few doors down, calling X's name. Sam came stomping out of the room a few doors down and took a gander at me with a face a ton creepier than the grin. He inquired as to whether I went into his room. My heart was hustling. As I said no, I might feel the shake in my voice. He raged a few doors down and opened his room entryway with a certain the hostility. I raced to the room X was in. Also, I let him know we ought to leave. He answered saying he was frightened. That was the good to beat all. I told him to follow me. As I got him by the arm as we were going down the steps, we heard Sam shout, "Yes, you got it done," came from his room. Then he shouted that I went through his storeroom, to which I didn't. We run for it. He shouted something different as we went through the front way to the external. I hammered his front entryway shut and we ran down the walkway until we were unable to see his home any longer. The man was crazy. Indeed, even my 6-year-old sibling got terrible. Hey, before you keep watching the video, I just wanted to shout out to this comment from the last video. Don't forget guys, I just do some random shout out from the comments, so if you want to be in the next video, just type some random words telling what do you like about the video. Thank you. Even my 6-year-old sibling got terrible flows from him. I inquired as to whether Sam contacted him in a place alongside his shoulder. He didn't. I'll assume anything. However, all he did was shrug his shoulders. Accordingly, I was apprehensive to ponder what that implied. We were fortunately close to a companion's home, so we rang the ringer and asked my companion's mother to utilize their telephone. I called my father and told him the circumstance. My companion's mother finished up allowing us to remain there for the evening. After realizing what simply occurred, my father called the police and revealed Sam to his manager that nothing happened to Sam, yet my father had a decent relationship with his chief and he figured out how to get Sam terminated.